the Eagles now. Lane Johnson on the 2021 Eagles expectations. Quote, we're not expected to do much, so I feel like it's a lot easier to play when you have that card in your hand. So that's where we're at. And, that is kind of true here. Lane Johnson, the offensive tackle here for the Eagles. Yeah, I mean, when we're talking about the NFC East, it's just, the Eagles are kind of last there. We're putting kind of the Giants 1, the Washington football team 2, Cowboys 3, and really the Eagles at the bottom of the list. And it's nothing on their kind of, their team. They've got a decent team out here. Do I have it up? Right here. I do like Jalen Hurts. I am a believer that Jalen Hurts can get it done this year. Their running back, Miles Sanders, he was like the best thing for their offense, the only consistent weapon in their offense that really jump-started a lot of their games just on the ground game, ripping off big like 70, 80-yard touchdown runs to really get, the offense back in the game. So I am a big fan of, the quarterback, Jalen Hurts, the running back, Miles Sanders, Devontae Smith, their first-round pick in the draft. We're big on him as well. We thought, he should have been the first wide receiver taken in the draft. We're big on Devontae Smith. Jalen Reagor going into year 2, year 3. Real solid. What did he do last year? What did Jalen Reagor do last year? Only 396 yards? Really? Interesting. But he was a rookie last year, so going into his second year, and, we still believe that he's got the goods to do that. At the tight end position, we got Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz. We kind of are thinking Zach Ertz may not be there, but I'd still rock with Dallas Goedert as a solid, decent tier 2 tight end in this league. So they got some nice offensive pieces. Defensively, they still got Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. They got Darius Slay as a corner, not bad. So Rodney McLeod as one of their safeties. So they don't have a bad team overall. The only reason why we are putting this Eagles team kind of last in that division is because of the head coaching switch. I was a big fan of Doug Peterson. I truly think he got it done there with the Eagles. And we're going to talk about him in the next story here. But let's go into this article and truly see what Lane Johnson is trying to say here. I just can't get behind Nick Sirianni, folks. I mean, that's really the key here. We haven't really seen him be a head coach. I'm not sure how he's going to really truly play out here. Everything that we've been hearing from him, which isn't a lot in the offseason, hasn't been positive. He was the one that, told us that he made the draft prospects play rock, paper, scissors, shoot to see their competitive edge. Okay, that's one way to judge it, and I wouldn't do that. That would probably be my 500th way of determining competitive edge, but okay, whatever. So I'm not. That's where we're really kind of getting hung up here on the Eagles. But let's see what Lane Johnson is saying here. So Eagles tackle Lane Johnson believes his team is perfectly positioned as a sleeper that's ready to land a few punches. And exactly that. They are a sleeper. We don't expect them to make noise. There's no pressure on this team, folks. There's zero pressure. You have a new head coach. You don't have really kind of superstars all over the field. And then you got Jalen Hurts, who is going into year 2, but only played, 7 games? Was it 7 games last season coming in? That whole Carson Wentz dilemma still during the last season. So he's really kind of going into his first full season. So we are eligible to give this man a little bit of a free pass of a down year. Obviously, we don't want to, when I say, we hand out free passes, folks, we're just saying that is on the table. There's obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, Big Ben. They don't get any free passes because they've already established themselves in the league time and time again. We give Philip Rivers a free pass just because he's trash and he's never made it to the Super Bowl. But when we talk about free passes, we're just talking about, if you have a bad year with all the circumstances given early in your career, we can kind of, all right, this is a free pass, but you have to step it up next year. That's kind of what we're saying when we say, we're giving out free passes. But yeah, we can potentially give Jalen Hurts a free pass if he doesn't have that great of a year. A new head coach. I mean, you're having kind of, new coaches every single year, all of that stuff. So we obviously don't want to. I mean, nobody's going to take a free pass, will they? So let's see. Here we go. Lane Johnson, quote, I think that I think with what we have, it's easy to find motivation. 4-11-1 or 4-12, whatever we were last year is not acceptable. So, we're going to come out swinging. Expectations are low. We're not expected to do much. So I feel like it's a lot easier to play when you have that card in your hand. So that's where we're at. And really, I think that's for a lot of the teams in the NFC East. So here we come. No. The Giants, there's pressure on this Giants team. We need to see Daniel Jones take the step year 3. There's no free pass for Daniel Jones, folks. We just saw Josh Allen take that year 2 to year 3 step. This is Daniel Jones's year. We've been seeing Daniel Jones get better every single season, but it's really kind of, all right, now we're talking year 3. There's no free passes there, especially with all those weapons. No, I'm not giving him any free passes, folks. Daniel Jones does not get a free pass this year at all. It is sink or swim, and you better be swimming because we're going to be betting on you a lot this season. And you got an A1 tier 1 running back behind you. Hopefully he can stay healthy. That's another reason why we kind of gave Daniel Jones a little bit of a free pass last season, was because his A1 tier 1 running back got injured real early on. So if you don't have a running game, they're just going to focus on the passing game. All right, yes, we dare you. The defenses are like, we dare you to beat us with the running game. Please do that. We'll shut down. We'll play, man coverage. We'll have 2 safeties over the middle. You're not going anywhere on us passing the ball. So please try to run with your second string running back. And it just couldn't get it done because they're not as good. Who was it? Mike Davis? He wasn't as good as Saquon Barkley. So, or who was their running back last year? Mike Davis was with the Panthers. Whoever it was, not as good as Saquon Barkley, obviously. They were trying to give Devontae Smith, right? Devontae Smith another option, another year, another chance in the league. Pretty sure that's who it was. But either way, there's no free passes there for the Giants. It is sink or swim. So there is pressure on the Giants. There's pressure on the Cowboys. You got Dak back. That was your only excuse. You just hired Dan Quinn as your defensive coordinator, who you think's going to get it done. So in Mike McCarthy, kind of real lousy coaching year 1, and he's a Super Bowl head coach. There is expectations there. It's the Cowboys. They're, America's team. They're the biggest market in the NFL. There's always pressure on the Cowboys, especially finishing 3rd in the division last year. So yes, the Giants have immense pressure. The Cowboys have immense pressure. And then Washington, they just have natural pressure because they were the division leaders, the division winners last season. So, you got Ron Rivera going into year 2 with that great defense. The quarterback situation is not the greatest. Taylor Heineke or Ryan Fitzpatrick, okay. I mean, these aren't, that's like the worst quarterback in the division, but they were still division winners. So that's still pressure on them. So Lane Johnson, you're the only team that has really no expectations or no pressure on you this year. So don't try to group the entire division with what your team is doing this year. You don't have any pressure. Everybody else does. So you better be ready to face them because they're going to be ready to smack you guys in the mouth because they kind of have to do it this year. So I don't agree with Lane Johnson that I think that's for a lot of teams in the NFC East. No, it's only you. Y'all are the only team that has no expectations because y'all are kind of trash, unfortunately. So what else do we get here? All right, Hurts showed flashes of potential in his athletic ability, leading the Eagles to an upset win over the Saints late in the season and at least helping Philadelphia compete down the stretch of an otherwise lost season. It was enough to provide the young signal caller with a shot of self-assuredness, and it appears he's carried it into 2021. Quote. Lane Johnson again on Jalen Hurts. Quote. He's got that confidence to him. The way he carries himself like a veteran and things he can do on the field. He can scramble outside the pocket. And when that happens, man, it makes it a little bit easier for the offensive line whenever you have a mobile quarterback back there. The pass rushers approach the pass rush a little bit differently. So instead of maybe running the hoop, they're told not to break contain because if they do, he can scramble for 10 or 15 and get a quick first down. But really, he's taking command in OTA. So that's great to hear. We're loving that. Jalen Hurts taking control. Once again, another nugget of information we can use to really truly buy this man going into this season. And, once again, just kind of, taking the pressure off the offensive line, that dual threat quarterback, absolutely, that's the name of the game now, folks. If you don't have a dual threat quarterback just even a little bit, you're probably not going to do too well overall in this league. Tom Brady's the only exception to the rule, folks. Literally everything we say, Tom Brady will always be the exception to the rule. So don't come to me and be like, well, Tom Brady's not a dual threat quarterback and he just won the Super Bowl. What about that? He's the exception, folks. He's literally ruining every single narrative that anybody puts out there. He's the exception to the rule in every single rule that you want to write. But, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Ryan Tannehill getting to the AFC Championship games, folks. I mean, this is not, this is the way that the league is heading. That's why the Bucs won the Super Bowl, because you need the pass rush to make them kind of make those throws out of the pocket every single time, making Patrick Mahomes run for their lives. So there is kind of a little bit of a cheat code in, stopping the dual threat quarterbacks, but having that dual threat quarterback will get you very far in this league, at least. So that's great to hear by Jalen Hurts. Continue here with the quote. Goodness, I don't want to even hear this, but here we go. Back to the quote here by Lane Johnson. Quote, we have Joe Flacco there as our backup, who's tremendous too. Tremendous? Joe Flacco, tremendous? I don't know about that. Lane Johnson, you're kind of like, you got 2 strikes so far, saying that, everybody in the NFC East has no pressure on them, and Joe Flacco being tremendous. One more strike, and we're going to cut the article short, folks. But let's keep going here. We have Joe Flacco there as our backup, who's tremendous too, who's pushing him. So really, he's put his foot on the gas pedal, and everybody's not satisfied with what we did last year. It's left a bitter taste in our mouth, so we have a lot to prove. We know where we're at, and everybody's chomping at the bit to get back. And once again, that's great as well. Returning a lot of players from last season. Hey, we fucking kind of sucked last year, folks. I mean, we got rid of our quarterback, Carson Wentz. We got rid of our head coach, Doug Peterson. So, if we still suck, it's going to be the players on the field, and we're all going to be kind of looking at each other. So let's all collectively get better here. Let's kind of all have that kind of energy to get back to a good winning season, and let's go take this division kind of by surprise, because everybody's counting us out. So we can kind of buy into this Eagles team a little bit more. They know they were trashed last year. They believe they have the pieces to kind of get back on track this season. And we'll see if they go out and kind of, chomp at the bit like they have been saying. So we'll see what the Eagles can do this year. But, I still kind of put them at last in the NFC East. So we'll see what they kind of do early on in the season and see if we have to retool our thinking and see if they can kind of, overplay, over-accomplish a little bit this season and not finish last in the division. We'll see.